Just want to get that.
Yeah, don't push it all right.
Yeah, no.
Because the other thing, too, is I won't be able to hear you.
Oh, right. Now you're going to have to read my lips.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. It says live now.
It says live. We're live. Porchcast Pottstown. I still get questions.
What's that?
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock, there will be some type of episode of Porchcast Pottstown.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. What?
I still get questions from people. When are your shows? Every Tuesday and Thursday.
When are your shows, Matt?
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock.
More or less at 5 o'clock.
There will be some type of episode of Porchcast Pottstown. Mm-hmm. Most of the time it's live.
Yes.
Occasionally it's going to be something pre-recorded.
Sometimes it's late.
And sometimes it's a past episode that we're rerunning.
Right.
We're putting on reruns.
Something.
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5. Thanks for tuning in. I have some people watching, and I do want to make a couple of announcements, one or two announcements. Last night we had the Cast at Glocker, which is the other live stream that I participate in.
I watched.
We were at the Colebrook-Dale Railroad with Nathan Lapp, who is their Director of Guest Services. Very nice fellow.
Yes.
I do want to tell people that there is a $100 gift certificate on the table.
I entered.
Well, you're not a part of that show, so you can win.
I know, but did you see who I tagged as my two friends?
Levi and me?
Yes.
No, okay. So if you want to win that $100 gift certificate, go to Glocker Realty and Insurance Facebook page. Look for that episode of us at Colebrook-Dale Scenic Railroad.
It'll be very easy to identify because you're on the train.
Yes.
And if you've never been on the train and you have never seen the train,
you're missing out.
You will get just a little vision of how beautiful it is.
Unbelievable.
It's really, really
unbelievable
it's
the amount of craftsmanship that they put into those trains.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's what you do if you want to win the $100 gift certificate.
Yeah.
You click like. You want to like that live stream. And then in the comments, you want to tag 2 of your friends.
Yep.
That gives you an entry to win $100. Next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we're going to pick the winner live on the show.
Why do you got to wait so long?
Because it gives people a week to watch it.
So people might go back later and watch it.
They might go back later and watch it, just like they do on Porchcast Pottstown.
Yep.
Which you can do by going to YouTube, Porchcast Pottstown, or Facebook, Macarena Glocker Real Estate.
Right.
I'm still having that YouTube problem. We're going to have to troubleshoot that after the show. You'll also see that we're not using our microphones, our XLR microphones, because
some sort of weird
something went wrong on our soundboard.
Yeah.
But we have the Yeti mic.
We have the old Yeti, so everybody can hear us, yes? I can't mic.
I'm getting a good sound return on the audio monitor for the Yeti microphone. So,
all right, good. I can't mic.
Have you had any complaints yet?
I can't. My comments are looking like I can't. I gotta reload the.
I'm not getting any comments through the. I'm not getting any comments.
Right.
Through the show yet. I also can't see the live show on my Facebook page. So
all right,
let me refresh that and make sure that we're actually on the air. But I can see that there's people watching.
Yeah, sounds great. Executive producer Judy Green says, sounds great.
Sounds great?
Excellent.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
I'm on a little vacation, Matt, so I'm having a real cocktail today.
Oh, good. Good for you. So this is for Passover, correct?
Yes, I've been cooking for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
We picked
up preparation for 1 week.
Yes. So Levi went over and picked up the matzo balls from Gail today. She made the matzo balls. Mm-hmm. So we have everything, and we are going out to see Harrison and having Passover out there with him.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And he's excited, which makes me feel really good.
And then for us, Goyim, Easter's coming up.
Which is, I think, April 4th or whatever that
Sunday
is.
Easter Sunday is April 4th.
Yeah.
And then this Friday would then be Good Friday?
The 2nd.
Or is it?
Yeah. Yeah, April 2nd. April 2nd is a Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of Easter Bunny stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah. We'll go over that with the news and announcements.
Mostly news and announcements today. So I do want to kind of, while there's some people watching, and I didn't really advertise this show very heavily, so we might not get the normal watchers, or the normal amount of watchers, just because I didn't advertise
You
the
didn't
show,
put it out
and
there to
people
remind
still
folks?
are confused about what days we're on and what times.
Right.
But I did go on to Facebook today, and I got hung up in what I kind of think was a little bit of a negative thread about Pottstown. You were on there. I saw you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was trying to. Was that on which post was that on? The one that I shared about the trash?
It was somebody sharing something to Eye on Pottstown.
Oh, it was about Tom Hilton's article about how crime overall in Pottstown is down. And there was a lot of speculation about why crime might be down. Is it down because crimes aren't being reported? Is it that they're being reported but the police aren't reporting them to the database? Is it like, what are the reasons that crime is down?
Pottstown reports to the UCR. UCR is the Uniform Crime Report, which is a database that's maintained by the Department of Justice and the FBI.
Okay.
Pottstown does report to UCR because Pottstown gets grants
right.
From the federal government, and in order to get those grants, you must report to the UCR.
Right.
So I can answer that question right now.
Right. So instead of being like, oh, hey, great, look, Pottstown, like crime is down in Pottstown, people had to like shit all over it saying like, oh, it's probably because of this, or it's not really because of this, and this town really is awful. And instead of being like, oh, look, there's numbers, there's data that shows that crime is down. Yeah. Let's just ignore that data.
Let's ignore it. Yeah. Because we live in an age of alternative facts.
Right.
So
which is just that statement or that terminology is ridiculous. Alternative facts? No, facts are facts. They're either facts or falsehoods.
Right.
Right. But there's alternative facts is a thing.
Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah.
She'll be known forever.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, one of the things that people were saying was that housing prices are really low in the borough of Pottstown. And I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you that
you've not been
not.
watching this show for the last 2 months because all we've been talking about is how the housing prices are skyrocketing.
Unbelievable.
Right.
I've over the past 3 years, I personally have had 3 of the highest sale values in the borough of Pottstown.
Right. Franklin Street.
Yeah. Edgewood. No, not Edgewood. I'm sorry. Rosedale.
Mm-hmm.
And now this one over here in Chestnut Street for that neighborhood. That's the highest price.
In the aughts block of Chestnut Street.
42.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Went under. I'm not going to say what the sales price is because we haven't closed it yet, but it went under contract at $249,900. $249,900. And like I said before, I've posted this on Facebook and I've also talked about it on this show, Porchcast Pottstown. I helped a family get 2 times more money from a We Buy Any Homes outfit.
Right.
2 times more.
Right. So We Buy Any Homes was offering them $50,000, making up the number.
I got them 100.
And you got them 100.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's the 3rd time I've been able to double the price offered by We Buy Any Homes. Yeah. 3rd time I've been able to.
So why do people go for that We Buy Any Homes?
Just because think it's going to be quick and fast. But every single time I've done that, we've closed those houses with one exception because the guy wasn't ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of packing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in the other cases, those people got their money in less than a month.
It's going to be, you're going to be hard pressed to have a real estate transaction take place quicker than a month turnaround. Yeah,
I mean, it usually takes a little bit of time to clear title. Yeah. So you want to clear title.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's what's going on.
Oh.
Listen, I think that I'm good. Like, I'm good at what I do. Mm-hmm. But I would not be able to be doing those things if the Pottstown housing market was shite.
Right.
It would not be possible.
It just would not be possible.
Wouldn't be possible.
Right. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Right.
If the market wasn't there, you wouldn't be able to do that.
So a few years ago, like when I was a police officer, so here's my Porchcast Pottstown parable.
Porchcast Pottstown parable, folks. That's a very good alliteration.
We're alliterating. We're also using some religious imagery because we're in Passover and we're coming up to Easter.
Right.
So bear with me.
And a parable is by nature
kind of a moral.
A moral, but it has a religious bent to it. Typically a New Testament bent,
yes,
but just a religious moral overtone.
So just put that on hold a little bit and just listen to my story.
Okay.
My Porchcast Pottstown.
This is the first time I'm hearing it too, so.
When I was a police officer, so this is going back some time, I would say it's probably going back at least 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a lot of foot patrols on High Street. And I also used to answer a lot of building alarm calls on High Street.
Got it.
a lot of times because I was on foot.
Yeah.
On High Street.
So you're walking the beat like a flat foot.
Yep. Patrolman, yes. Doing that thing.
And then an alarm goes off, and you have to respond to that alarm.
Yeah. And I got to be friends with a guy by the name of Bob McKinney, who at the time owned the New York store. Yeah. Right? The New York Plaza. He owned that building. Mm-hmm. And Bob McKinney was the former borough manager in Pottstown.
I don't think I knew that.
Yes.
Okay.
Way back in time. Yeah. I think back in the 50s or 60s.
Okay, somebody probably, if Jack and Gail are watching, even Judy Green, you might be able to answer that question for us. But yes, okay. Proceed.
So in the 50s, let's just say, I'm pretty sure it was the 50s, Bob McKinney was the borough manager. And prior to getting into Pottstown and everything else, he was a Marine veteran, served in the South Pacific. Mm-hmm. Was battlefield promoted like 2 or 3 times, which means the people who were leading his regiment were killed, and he had to move up in rank.
He just had to step up. Like, okay, the corporal is
dead, so now I'm the corporal. Sergeant's dead, now I'm the sergeant. Lieutenant's dead, now I'm the lieutenant, so on and so forth. Right. So this guy had been, as we say, in the shit, in combat, serious combat. He had probably every reason to be a negative type person, right? Mm-hmm. Every reason to be negative, but he wasn't. And through the course of several conversations that I had with him, one by meeting him at the New York store, and then 2, he used to wait for the bus at the corner of High and Hanover Street, and he'd ride the bus back up to his house on the north end. And when I saw him out there, I'd always stop and speak with him. And the one day I was not having a very particularly good go of it in the Pottstown Police Department. I had probably made some type of mistake. I probably didn't dot an I correctly or put 2 periods after a sentence, and I was getting jammed up. Right. So he saw that I was feeling sad and down, and I didn't tell him what was going on, but he could see that I wasn't. Sense it, right. And he told this story. He said, he's like, when I was the borough manager here, I was the borough manager who brought in the Pottstown wastewater treatment plant. He's like, I was the borough manager who helped develop the water drinking plant. And he's like, everybody told me, oh, it can't be done. You'll never get this done. Pottstown can't handle a project like this, that, and the other thing. And he said, but I got it done. Mm-hmm. And he's like, through good luck and a lot of hard work, it got done. Right. And he said to me one thing. He said, look, he's like, the only place, let me rephrase this. Keep your head above the clouds. It's the only place the sun is shining. Keep your head above the clouds. It's the only place the sun is shining. All right. And I didn't really fully understand what he was saying to me on that day because I was just depressed. I was fed up. Right. I was tired of getting written up for stupid bullshit. Right. But that's stuck with me.
Obviously, yeah.
And I later on, after I got into real estate, and 6 years ago, Pottstown was not doing what it's doing now.
It was pretty.
It was bleak. It was looking bad.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started in real estate, so you started
like kind of at the bottom of the market.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it would take you on average 130 days to sell a home in the borough of Pottstown. There was like over 350 houses for sale that could not be sold. Right. The median sales price was in the pits. Right. There wasn't a brew pub or anything of that nature on High Street. No beer gardens, no honeys, no barrister's bagels, no axe throwing, nothing. Right. Derelict. Yeah. Empty. Mm-hmm. So I would go onto social media and things of that nature, and I would just see everybody complaining about Pottstown. It sucks, it stinks, and blah, blah, blah. And I promised myself that I wasn't going to let myself get into that. And I remembered the words of Bob McKinney. Keep your head above the clouds. It's the only place you'll see the sun shining. Right. So right there and then, I kind of decided that I was going to be positive. I was going to look for the opportunities. I was going to try to develop opportunities. And I was going to be positive. Mm-hmm. I was going to stay off of all the sites that were just trashing Pottstown. Right. Because...
And that includes the sound off.
I do not read the Mercury.
Where brain cells go to die.
I do not read the Mercury.
Yeah.
I don't like that newspaper for a lot of different reasons, but I don't read the Mercury anymore. If somebody else does, that's fine.
I do. I read it every day. I find as a business owner, and also we represent the borough of Pottstown,
sure.
So I find that it is useful. We go through the obituaries to see who our clients have passed away. Like it's important to us as a small business owner in our kind of business. Yeah. But I skip right over the sound off for sure.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing to do is complain.
Mm-hmm.
Just complain.
Right.
That's easy. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
You know what takes some guts and some courage and some balls and some, I don't know, doing something about it.
Right.
Identifying
a problem and doing something about it. Even if it's just a little something.
Do something.
Right.
Keep your head above the clouds.
Right.
All of that negative chatter on Facebook doesn't help Pottstown get better.
It's insidious. Right? It feeds on each other.
It doesn't help Pottstown get better.
No.
If you want to help Pottstown get better, start talking about the positive stuff that's going on in Pottstown. That's why we invented Porchcast Pottstown.
Yes, that was really, yes, you are, Nicole. Positive on Pottstown. So am I. So is Matt. So are most of our Porchtonians. So when I came up with the original concept for my podcast, it was because I hated that when people would be looking, say somebody was looking to buy a house in Pottstown, if they went on Facebook, they would see a lot of negative comments or a lot of negative groups like Crime on Pottstown or those kind of groups where there was just a lot of negative stuff.
The Golden Cockroach.
Golden Cockroach.
I hated
just being
that
pointed
website.
out. So I was like, I really want to have people, when they search for Pottstown, find positive things.
Yes.
And that was when Matt and I started talking about,
doing
it was
sort of it's the reason why I started In the Works.
Right.
My In the Works series.
Same. You and I had kind of the same concept.
Same principle.
Yes. Joe Rusevich, you were not in the obituaries today. You are safe for another day.
So I do see someone here is asking a question. It's Joshua Catherine. What's driving up home prices in the borough, and is that the same for the immediate border municipalities in Montco General?
Good question.
It's across the country, my friend.
Yes.
From coast to coast, border to border. What happened is, after leading up to the pandemic, there was a 10-year low of new housing. So that's either new construction or new listings coming onto the market. Right. 10-year low.
Right.
Simultaneously, the interest rates began to drop.
Mm-hmm.
So we're now in a situation where we have historically low interest rates for mortgage. I have had some clients get under 3% 30-year mortgages. It's never been that low.
Right.
While simultaneously, there's a 22-year low inventory.
Right. It is a simple supply and demand.
It's a perfect storm.
Right.
It's a perfect storm.
Right.
So that's what's driving it. Demand is at an all-time high, driven by low interest rates.
Right.
And listings and new properties coming on the market are at an all-time low, partially driven by pandemic concerns.
Oh, right. So people don't want to be showing their house, or
they don't want to be showing,
they don't want to be going,
or they don't know, they don't want to. Who wants to move in the middle of a pandemic?
Right.
You don't know what you're exposing yourself to. Everything else.
Right.
The other thing too is, now that the prices are so high, any money that you would gain on your sale, if you're going to be buying something else, you're going to spend.
Right.
You
because it's really high to purchase.
That's right.
Right.
So that's what's driving it, Joshua. And it's not just here in Pottstown. It's all across Montgomery County.
Yeah.
All across the country. Is this a long-term trend? No,
right.
I don't think so.
Right. I mean, it's going to have to
eventually it'll balance out.
Right.
I think as the vaccine rolls out, as people get more and more comfortable with dealing with pandemic-related issues, wearing a mask, washing your hands, socially distancing.
Because they become maybe a little bit more comfortable with opening up their home for viewings and showings and things.
Real estate agents are now taking precautions. Like there's a whole list of precautions that I take when I'm showing a house or when I have a house listed.
Yeah, sure.
So that's going to bring more and more stuff onto the market.
Yes.
There's also going to be listings. There are certain types of listings that are always going to occur regardless of the market. And we just talked about one, obituaries. People die, grandmom dies, and you have to sell her house.
Right.
That's going to cause a new listing.
Yep.
People get divorced. That's going to cause a new listing.
Right.
People have babies.
Yeah.
And they need to move from their smaller house to their bigger house.
Right.
People get relocated or downsized.
Yeah.
So there's some of that
maybe
stuff.
somebody's selling a house to move into an apartment because they don't want the hassle of owning anymore.
I'm dealing with a person like that right now. He has way too much house. He's like, I just want to get my house sold and move into an apartment because I'm tired of taking care of this huge house.
Right.
So there's always going to be that. So eventually, yes, this is going to balance out and it'll come back up. But for the time being, if you are in a position to sell something and not have to move, there's never been a better chance to do that and pocket the most amount of money.
Yes.
Is this a long-term trend? No.
Right.
Will it cause prices to remain high for a longer period of time? Yes, absolutely. But these conditions that we're currently experiencing now won't continue forever.
Right.
But I will say, even after all this, prices are going to be up. At one point in time, a couple of years ago, home prices in the borough of Pottstown were up 10%. The last time I did an analysis, it was up 13% in borough of Pottstown, and I think we've surpassed that. In some areas, home prices are up as much as 20, 25%.
Wow.
To my point.
Yeah.
Stay positive. It's not that bad out there, folks.
Right.
And truly, if you think that Pottstown's shit, and you have to get out of here,
Now's the time.
Now's the time.
Now's the time.
Give me a call. I'll help you move.
Yes.
I will help you get out. I will sell your house so fast your head will spin for more money than you ever imagined.
Yep. You better start packing your stuff up because you're going to be out sooner than you know. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that. But think of Bob McKinney and think of his words. Keep your head above the clouds. It's the only place the sun is shining.
So I think that, to me, that means, take a top of the trees approach and view. Don't be down here chewing on tree bark. You're in the nitty gritty. You're chewing on tree bark. But look at the greater picture. Now, I have eyes on Pottstown as an outsider, even though I've been here now 24 years this year. 24 years. And I always looked at Pottstown as having great bones. Like, look at this town. It's got these cute houses. It's got this great architecture. There's all these front porches. It's got this downtown that can be revitalized. Like, I always looked at it in a really cute way. Like, look at this cute town. And I still think it's a cute town. And now, finally, 24 years later, I'm starting to see the realization of the vision that the lens that I always viewed it through. And maybe coming at it as an outsider, I had, a different look than somebody that's, kind of been bogged down by living here. But although, Levi grew up here and, he loves it and he sees the positive, and Nat, you grew up here and chose to move back, and settle here.
No, I lived outside of the borough of Pottstown for 10 years. So I moved out of Pottstown when I was about 18. And then I moved back into town when I was about 28. Yeah,
so you were able to come back at it with a different perspective as well.
I came back because at the time I was looking for a house. We just had my oldest son, Andrew. And we were living in an apartment down in Chester County, which was only one bedroom. It was a big apartment, but it only had one bedroom.
Right.
We had this newborn baby, and we needed a house.
Yeah.
And we looked all over the place. I mean, we looked everywhere. In Chester County, Berks County, Montgomery County. I got the most bang for my buck by moving back into the borough.
Right. And as a bonus, your kids got to grow up, with their
a mile and a half from my parents and their aunt and everything else. Yeah. My dad retired a year after we bought the house. My dad's been with my kids as a caretaker since they were born.
You can't
beat that.
You can't beat that. I will even go for as far as saying that, like, if we had more of that in this country, people tend to move away from where they grew up. But if people, came home to where their roots are, I think they tend to care a little bit more about the town when they have roots there. When Jack, my father-in-law, gave the commencement speech at the Hill for graduation, I think it was in the year 2003. And that was the message of his commencement speech was you can go out into the world and do great things. You can go, move across the country or across the world, but you can do really, really great things if you live where you came from. Yeah. And you don't have to go far away to a big city to make a big impact on the world. You can make a really big impact and have a really great life where you come from.
Yeah, it's the big fish in a little pond type scenario, right? Right. You might be able to have more impact. I think the other part of it too is, and one of the reasons why I stayed in Pottstown, one, my kids didn't want to move. Mm-hmm. At one point, I did put an offer in on a house out in Fleetwood. We were going to move out to the country, so to speak.
Right.
It was my kids that came to us and said, we prefer not to move. Mm-hmm. We want to stay in Pottstown with our friends. Right. We like it here.
Yeah.
We like going to the schools here. We like our friends here.
We like being able to walk down to Argento's and get a slice with our friends or walk down to the park and go fishing. And we don't have to rely on Dad to drive us everywhere. It would have been a completely different life.
Completely.
Up in Fleetwood, yeah.
So, I think there's that. And I think, too, the other part of it, too, is this is where your network is, right? This is where my network starts and begins because this is where I'm from.
Right.
And once I made this transition out of public sector, out of law enforcement and into business, I was able to tap into that network immediately. Mm-hmm. And the other part of it, too, is I saw the opportunities that were here. Because I listened to my friend, Bob McKinney, and the advice that he gave me, I started driving around town, because that's what I got paid to do, was go on patrol and drive around town. And instead of just seeing trash and broken windows, I saw opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it helped me realize how much opportunity there was in this town.
Yes.
And once I started thinking positively and tapping into the network that I already had established here, within short order, I was able to start making some money and changing the way my town looked. Now, look, I'm not the only one.
Let me change your view.
Let me change your view. That's where that comes from. Let me change your view.
That's a great tagline.
I'm patting myself on the back. I'm not the only one.
Your mom says you could have had chickens if you lived in Fleetwood.
We could have had chickens. We could have had horses and pigs and goats and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, it's a pain. Yes.
There was requests for chickens and goats on that house at Fleetwood because it formerly had horses on it. So, but we didn't move. We didn't get the farm.
Right.
So anyway, but I do. That was my Pottstown parable.
I like it
for today. So. Don't get hung up in that negativity. And there's now so many other positive Facebook pages to go to avoid that stuff.
Right.
I just tune it out. Now, I will say this. Jay Morris is... I saw this exchange going on Ion Pottstown. I think Jay is a contributor to society. He tries to be positive with the bike giveaways and... Even the full mission of the Ion Pottstown is to keep a watch out in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
that's all positive stuff.
Yeah.
Now, he's got thousands of members of that page. You can't control everybody.
Right.
But just be careful what you're digesting.
Yeah.
And also, again,
I think he does a good job trying to steer things.
It does.
Yeah.
And don't always believe everything just because somebody wrote it on Facebook. I'm here to tell you that prices in Pottstown and across the nation are at an all-time high.
Right.
If anybody tells you otherwise, they're completely misinformed.
Yeah, there was in that thread that we were talking about, somebody was saying that a home on their street sold for $20,000, and I was like, "Do you mean $20,000 over list price?"
Yeah, that's a possibility.
That's really happening.
And there could be some $20,000 homes.
Oh yeah.
There could be some stuff that's really, really in deplorable shape.
Yes.
Or somebody could have been taken advantage of by a We Buy Any Homes people and thought that all their house was worth was $20,000.
Yeah. That would be really unfortunate.
That would be unfortunate. Because really, and maybe they believed that because they listened to too many people on Facebook.
The lot that the house sits on is worth more than $20,000 at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cheers, folks.
Yes.
Stay positive.
Cheers.
Now, that being said, let's get into all of this positive stuff that's going on. You listen.
And listen, if you want to go on an Easter egg hunt, this is your weekend.
And if you are bored in Pottstown, it's by your own choosing. It's by your own choosing.
For sure.
And it doesn't matter if you don't have any money. There's there's free stuff going on. Free.
Right. Or very reasonable.
Low price. Yes. And don't forget, you can win yourself $100 by going to Glocker Really Need Insurance and liking and tagging 2 people in our Colebrookdale Railroad show.
Did you talk? I know that you talked about the rail bikes.
Yes, we did.
And they said that it was booked. The first month is fully booked.
First month for rail bikes at Colebrookdale Railroad is 100% booked. You got to go into June in order to make a reservation.
Do you know how much that is? Like
$75.
Okay. And it's 4 people.
4 people.
For a 2-hour outing or whatever, however long it
yes.
Can you win, Judy Green? Yes, I think you can win.
I don't see why not. She's not necessarily affiliated with Glocker.
She's not an employee.
She's not an employee.
Right. So the rail bikes are the first in Pennsylvania. So our Colebrookdale Railroad, which is the number 2 rated scenic railroad
in the United
States. Just break that down. There's a lot of scenic railroads. There's like Jim Thorpe. There's a lot of
Strasburg
scenic,
Railroad, Hawk Mountain. Yeah.
Right. A lot of them. As rated by USA Today?
Yes.
Colebrookdale Railroad is the number 2 rated scenic railroad tourist
attraction
type of railroad.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Nathan Lapp told us that they get people as far away as Russia.
That's crazy.
Coming here specifically to go on that ride.
Yeah.
Now, remember, folks, that ends, the one end of that ride is here in Pottstown.
It's here in Pottstown. And
they're building a station.
Yes.
That once they get that station done, you will be able to get on in either Pottstown or Boyertown.
Yeah, that station is beautiful.
It's going to be super nice. And the station and that the place that they're building up there in Boyertown, equally beautiful.
Right.
Equally. Those trains are beautiful.
Yes.
If you go on that train ride, you will see parts of this area that you've never seen before.
So it's called, what do they call it?
The Hidden Valley Rail Line. Yeah.
Hidden Valley. And it is, you forget that you just left Boyertown and you're heading to Pottstown. You're like in this mystical woods kind of. You know, I know it would sound like we're being really corny, but
it's totally true. It's totally true. If you don't believe us, get on it and find out for yourself.
It's totally true. So anyway,
but listen, hold on. One more point here. Yeah. One more point. Nathan told us that in Boyertown, they did a study. This is an independent study.
I heard this part, yeah.
The train, just the train, the presence of that train has brought in $8 million worth of tourist dollars to Boyertown and the surrounding community.
Right.
$8 million. So imagine once Pottstown gets its station open, and people can get on either side, and people can go to the Carousel and Potts Mansion and walk downtown to get a beer and go to Radigan's or pub.
That's incredible.
How many millions of dollars do you think that's going to bring to Pottstown?
Yeah, really, really an incredible
so hold tight, folks.
Yes.
Hold tight. And listen, no chicken coop in a backyard is going to be able to overcome what's going to happen to your property values once that stuff starts happening.
So a couple of questions on that. Susie is asking, hi Susie, that
the train goes from Boyertown to Pottstown.
175. The website says 175.
What's that?
175 for the rail bike.
Oh, maybe it does. Okay. I thought it was I heard the 75, but again, you're relying on Matt Green here, which isn't the greatest.
All right, so thank you for that clarification, Susie. And Nicole is reminding us that the Pottstown Rotary had a grant to help build the platform at the Pottstown Station. Thank you for that work. The platform at the Pottstown Station is beautiful. It's great. The station is beautiful, and it really does add a lot to that corridor, that welcome corridor to Pottstown, because it really is the western gateway into Pottstown. And to have that 3 kind of triumvirate of tourist attractions, the train, Pottsgrove Manor, and the Carousel, really is makes that an attractive end of town. So,
don't forget about Memorial Park. That's a great park that we have down there.
Yes,
right in our neighborhood.
And I'm about to tell you, it is enormous. That park.
It is, and think about that Trilogy bike park there, the BMX track.
So people come from all over the country.
They host Eastern Nationals there. Mm-hmm. They host Eastern Nationals.
It's a big deal.
Memorial Park hosts the Pottstown Rumble. Pottstown Rumble is the largest grass volleyball tournament in North America.
And super fun. It's really a fun event.
Listen, man, I'm not entertaining any arguments from anybody on Facebook to Pottstown shit when you start stacking up all the stuff that was here. If it was truly shit, none of that stuff would be here. None of it.
Yeah, and there's just something about where we're situated and what we have that it makes it really a good place for all of these things to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't know that the Colebrookdale Railroad goes from Boyertown to Eagle.
No, it just goes to Pottstown.
For now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So they are having an Easter Bunny thing. Do you have that in your news?
I do. I have Easter. There's going to be an Easter Bunny coming to Glocker Realty and Insurance.
Okay.
This Friday from 3 to 5.
Oh. Cool.
So it's going to be socially distanced. Bring your own camera, and you'll be able to take your picture with the Easter Bunny. 900 East Philadelphia Avenue, Boyertown, Pennsylvania, 19512. We are free event. Meet the Easter Bunny, get your picture taken. It's a socially distanced event. They're going to be following all the protocols and guidelines.
And the bunny kind of automatically has a mask on.
She's got a mask on.
Right.
So come and meet the Easter Bunny, 3 to 5 at Boyertown.
So that's this Friday, the 26th, tomorrow.
Yep, we're right at the corner of Route 173. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
3
tomorrow.
to 5.
Yep.
Free.
But Colebrookdale is doing their Easter Bunny Express the weekend of April 3rd and April 4th. So right on Easter Sunday, they've got trains.
Yeah.
So you can go to ColebrookdaleRailroad.com and get that information on their Easter expedition.
Nathan's going to come down on Porchcast once the weather gets a little bit nicer. And if they can get the train station, some of the train station projects done, including their internet, maybe we'll go over there and sit on the platform.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, so also on the topic of, Susie is reminding us that the powwow, that's the first weekend of May in Memorial Park, is really neat and free. It's a really interesting event.
I saw Ron today, Ron Williams.
Yep. So really neat event celebrating Native American history here in Pottstown.
Culture, yeah.
Right? The Lenape. So there are 2 egg hunts this weekend. So Althouse Arboretum, which we can't shut up about lately. Great place.
We've been talking about it on top. That is the Family Forest Easter egg hunt.
That sounds fun. Yes. So that's at 10 a.m. at Althouse Arboretum, which is on North...
it's on Gilbertsville
Road, yeah.
In Upper Pottsgrove Township.
Yeah.
You have to register for this event.
Okay, great. So go to Althouse Arboretum. Jeff couldn't say that last night.
AlthouseArboretum.org
and register for the Easter egg hunt.
I'll throw it up in the comments so you can find it. They're asking for a $5 donation. $5. You can take your family out and do a nice little Easter egg hunt.
That's like one Starbucks fancy coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's at 10 a.m. On this Saturday.
And apparently they're going to have Jeff Frederick from Jeff Knows Boyertown.
Yeah.
Said that they're also going to have other activities out there
great.
too.
And there is the Easter egg hunt, the kind of ad hoc Easter egg hunt that was started last year, where folks can draw. Let me find that event. Hold on. Nicole, I'll get to your question in just a second. Hold on. Where was that info, Matt? The Easter egg hunt.
I got it off my events feed. It's called the Family Forester Easter Egg Hunt. It just came through in my events feed because I had expressed an interest in it. But it's Althouse Arboretum.
Oh, no, not that one. The other egg hunt.
The other one? That's the Pottstown Social Distance Egg Hunt? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yes.
There it is. Okay, so that one is also, if I understand correctly, residents are encouraged to draw Easter eggs, like use chalk to draw Easter eggs on their sidewalk or put Easter eggs in their window. That's on Saturday. And then on Sunday, people can walk around and take pictures of the eggs that they found and post them on the page. If I'm understanding that correctly, the page is just Pottstown Social Distanced Egg Hunt.
Marissa Swiderski is commenting about that. Marissa, do you know who's organizing that? What group or what person? We can't really tell. And we wanted to give whoever is responsible for that their propers.
Their propers, yes.
So yeah, that's March 27th. That's Saturday at 10. Now also on Saturday from 9 to 1, or is it 9 to 12?
9 to 11, I think, the cleanup.
The cleanup, 9 to 11.
9 to 11, the cleanup, sponsored by Rotary and Pottstown Community Action.
Yes.
Starts at the Charlotte Street lot, Charlotte and High.
Yes.
And just show up. Show up with your gloves and your picker, and I think they will disperse people from there in the various directions to pick up trash.
Okay.
That easy.
Marissa Swiderski is saying she believes it's Abby Wee who organized the Pottstown social distance egg hunt.
Okay, great.
So you could do both of those things on Saturday.
Sure.
There's no reason why you couldn't pick up some trash and do the egg hunt.
And then reward
or
yourself.
Take your trash bag with you on the egg hunt and pick up some trash while you're doing that.
Yes.
Little side activity.
Yes. Killing two birds with one stone. Yeah.
I'm going to come down. Now, listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to throw this out there, too, because on Tuesday night after the show, I went to hang out with my buddy William Paul Baroli, Esquire.
Was he being contrary?
No, we were having the first meeting of Divorced Dads Club.
Oh, okay.
So here's what he said. He's bucking up for bagels.
Bucking up for bagels. Brogley's bucking up for bagels.
On Saturday.
Yes.
So you can get a little reward with a bagel.
That's very nice. And if you've not had the bagels from Barrister's Bagels, get them at Brogley's office for the
fabulous
bagel Brogley buck up.
The Brogley bagel buck up. Since we're all about alliterations.
Yes, excellent. Great bagels. Wonderful. So Nicole, you and I can have a chat about the 4th of July.
Here's my thing. Here's what I think about the parade.
Yeah.
It's outside event.
Yes.
High Street is a very long street.
It's very long.
You should know how to keep yourself safe outside after doing COVID for a year.
By that point, almost a year and a half. Yeah. Well,
and if you went to the Black Lives Matter march, why couldn't you go to a parade?
Absolutely. That was only 2 months into it. Yes.
Just saying.
So, and there's typically the parade. There's like spots, like, you know, there's a lot of people that gather here. Then there's like no people, and then there's a lot of people that gather here. If you just like spread it out, there's plenty of room.
And if you plop down, unfortunately, next to some family that's not social distancing or wearing masks,
plop down someplace else.
Move.
Right.
Because those people, whether we have a parade or not, the people that aren't doing the right thing are still going to go off somewhere and not do the right thing.
Right. Yes.
I'm tired of the rest of us being penalized because of them.
Right. And the reports coming out from the CDC and from the Biden administration and from a lot of states are all reporting that they should be able to have vaccines available for everybody by May, which means that by July we will be in perfectly good shape.
They need sponsors for the parade. So put it out there. I have some ideas for where you can go and get some money. And there's a lot of untapped money in the borough of Pottstown, but I don't want to say it on air because then I'll give away my secrets.
Okay.
Here's another thing that's happening on Friday. So if you want to come up and meet the Easter Bunny, there's something else that you can do while you're up in Boyertown. The NAACP and the medicine shop in Boyertown are teaming up to get volunteers.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up.
They need volunteers to help with the vaccine rollout.
Clinic.
Now, I want to be very, very clear. You're not signing up to get the vaccine. You're signing up to help other people get the vaccine.
To help run the clinic.
Yeah. They need greeters, intake volunteers, and data entry clerks. They're asking for 2 to 4 hour donation of time.
This is for tomorrow.
For tomorrow. And then there's a website that you have to go to because there's some kind of mandatory training. But from my understanding, you still have time to get this done. So if you want to help people get the vaccine, contact the Pottstown NAACP or the medicine shop in Boyertown. They're teaming up to make this happen. So that starts at 3. The Easter Bunny starts at 3. So you could volunteer or you could come up, get a quick picture with the Easter Bunny, and then go volunteer.
Right.
Just saying.
Yes. Yes, that's great. Great that clinic is coming to Pottstown. As Evan pointed out on his post this afternoon, maybe not so equitable how many doses we're getting, but we'll take it.
Nicole Vickers-Matz is throwing down a gauntlet. She's saying if anybody watches, cares about the parade, please reach out to Nicole Vickers-Matz. She's on Facebook. Pretty easy to find. You can also get in contact with Nicole through the Pottstown Rotary.
Yes.
Or you could come down to the corner of Charlotte and High Street on Saturday at 9 o'clock and help Nicole pick up some trash and talk to her about the parade.
Yes. Even better. That's even better.
Listen, I can keep you busy, man. Just you want some advice on what to do around here, just call Matt Green. I'll get you all set up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down on Saturday and help pick up some trash.
Yes, I am going to be out of town, but I did pick up last weekend. Did my part right here on our block. So yeah, it really doesn't take that much time, folks. And if you're not feeling comfortable going out with the group, you can pick up trash anywhere. I think the circumstances around our late snowstorms that we had in February and some trash issues with trash being picked up by Mascaro have just led to a lot of extraneous trash around town. So it looks a little bit extra grim. I saw that some folks from Hobart's Run were picking up over by the Ricketts Center today, so that was nice. Plenty to pick up. You can make a very big impact very easily. So
just by doing a little bit to help out.
Yeah. So instead of being on Facebook complaining about the trees, then, just...
Or the trash. Just go and do something about it. Like I said, the easiest thing to do is complain and be a Debbie Downer. That's easy. What it takes guts and courage to do is to go out and do something about it.
Yeah.
Be choice B. Be the go outer and get her doner.
Yeah.
And I will say Porchtonians consistently step up to the plate.
Yeah.
We must have the most engaged audience
we have a
of
lot of,
any locally known live stream.
A lot of people that just care about Pottstown.
We might be the only locally known live stream.
Yeah, well, there's that too. There's that too. All right, don't sell us short, Matt.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
we fulfill a niche. There's a certain niche. There's a desire for our content. We're putting it out there. I have fun doing it. You have fun,
too.
Right?
Yes, I do.
Listen, we're coming down to the end of the show. Some people are saying that there's a meeting tonight at 6 o'clock about this parade. So let's try to get you off of Porchcast and onto the parade meeting, because I know that there's Porchtonians participating in the parade meeting. So let's do that. And don't forget that we promoted it pretty heavily on Tuesday, but you can always go over there and watch the back episodes. Grumpy from Grumpy's Hand Carved Sandwiches has a YouTube channel now, and he's doing some cooking shows. Go check him out. New episodes are posted the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. So it's basically an every other Tuesday affair with a new episode. You can also go and watch the back episodes of Porchcast Pottstown on YouTube. And I did see that it did go across YouTube today. So we were live on YouTube.
Okay, great.
Despite what my
so
earlier...
like one thing didn't work, one thing did work.
Yeah.
So we take what we can get.
We're up to 73 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Cool.
People keep subscribing. Every time I mention it, we get a couple more subscribers. Don't forget, it is absolutely 100% free to subscribe on YouTube. Please subscribe. Remember to like, share, and comment the show. The more like, shares, and comments we get on our episodes, the more Facebook shows our show to more people, the more we are able to get the word out about all this positive stuff that's going on in the borough of Pottstown.
No negative Nellies here.
And listen, if you do have something negative to say, maybe we can help you with a solution, because we've solved some problems for people here on Porchcast.
Let's say if you have a concern,
brainstorm with us.
Yes. We'll bat it around. We'll see the light. For sure. All right. Do we have any other? I have just all our stuff that we've been talking about forever that I think everybody is aware of.
Go see Edgewood Eddie on April 10th.
Yes.
I could do it from memory now. Go see Edgewood Eddie on April 10th. Go to the art show and the cleanup at Edgewood Cemetery. You'll meet Kathy Skitko. She'll be over there with Bronwyn. Then after or before you do that, go up to Alt House Arboretum for their shred event and recycling event. That's going to be at Potts Grove Middle School. Alt House Arboretum. What else do we talk about on every single show? Those were the two other things, right?
Selma on the 11th.
Selma on the 11th. So after you're all worn out and tired, you'll be tired from shredding and cleaning and arting and talking to Kathy Skitko. So on the 11th, take a break and watch a movie.
Yes, exactly.
With Dave Charles and the Strive Initiative. All right, let's get off the air so people can get to their 6 o'clock meeting.
Yes, excellent. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for tuning in. And I always want to say it. I keep saying I'm going to keep saying it. Thanks for your participation in Porchcast Pottstown. The show does not exist without your participation. Thanks for all the support. Amy and I are constantly blown away with the support that we get from the community. Thank you. I am Matt Green. I am your local real estate expert. Please call me when you need help selling or buying property in Pottstown and the surrounding area. Amy Wolf is the lady boss, the co-host, the host of Porchcast Pottstown. She's also the office manager at Wolf Baldwin and Associates.
Very busy.
Bringing you fine legal service in the borough of Pottstown since 1973. We are Porchcast. Let's talk soon.
Thanks, everyone.